Hi everyone, Irit here with the new process video for Hip Kit Club, and this is the first layout I created with June kits. I have a video showing all the goodies in the kit, so make sure you check that. And my theme or instruction for this project was to use the acetate sheet that came in the pattern paper kit. So obviously you can use the same principle with whatever type of acetate or specialty paper that you have. If you don't have the paper, the pattern paper kit. And I do have to say I got these kits on Friday afternoon, and today is Saturday, and first thing in the morning I made this project. And it's not that, you know, I guess I had enough time, but I did feel just a little bit, you know, the pressure to finish it and have it uploaded and edited and everything by Sunday. So I think I probably could have, if I had a bit more time, I probably could have come up with some more creative ways of using the acetate. So it is used here in, you know, you don't see a lot of it. So I do apologize for that. I think it's also with the end design that I came up with. It just, there wasn't enough room to include everything. So, well, you'll see how that happens. And these are actually, I'm not going to use them on these layout, but it was a part of my process, so I'm including it here. These are the Vicky Boutin stamps and dies that came in the color kit, and I was so happy. These stamped perfectly. Now I did use this piece of foam. I know that you can get such similar things, you know, that are especially for stamping, and I think they do really help. But I just took this piece of foam that I will use later as a foam adhesive, and I think that definitely helped to get the stamping perfect. But yeah, I was really impressed, because usually I mess these things up all the time, and then I have to cut the things again, and it's a whole thing. But here, everything stamped perfectly on the first try, no problem. So yeah, great quality of stamps. And sorry about my head there peeking. It's just very hard to, I only have the white foam left, so, and the paper is white, so it's kind of hard to see exactly where the paper is when I'm stamping on it. So sorry, just trying to get things to line up perfectly. And yeah, I love how these look. I really love black and white images and accents and embellishments. I use those a lot, also in art journaling. And yeah, but I didn't end up using them on this layout. It just took on, you know, a life of its own, and a color scheme that was a little bit softer, and I just didn't feel like, I don't know, I didn't want to put them on this particular layout. It's just, I was happy to use the other embellishments. So I will definitely use them on a future layout. I think they turned out so pretty. Really beautiful. Good work from Vicky Boutin. So I have these, and as I said, they won't be used. And yeah, I guess I should just keep on chatting. I actually recorded already today another process video, which you will hopefully see on Monday on my channel. Just the internet is so slow, and it just takes forever till things upload. And during the day, you know, on the weekend, I think the whole street is on our bandwidth or whatever that thing is called, and my husband also plays computer, so basically I can never have a good time to upload things. I think a really, really fast internet connection would significantly improve my life quality. Pretty sure about that. But anyway, yeah, the photo I'm using is a selfie. Yes, I took a selfie. That is rare, but I did, and I think it's cute, and I like my Mickey Mouse cup, which I'm pretty sure we got somewhere. I don't think I bought that thing. So, yeah, and I think this was like the best design moment of this layout is when I decided to kind of fussy cut this paper that you see now on the screen. And yeah, I love how that turned out. I think it's so much more fun and interesting to use this paper like this instead of just the whole thing. I mean, it is a beautiful paper, and of course you can use the whole thing, but I just thought this was a really, really fun way to use it. So you'll see I'm just kind of following the pattern, and I'm going to stick that down right on my white background. And because I knew I was using these acetate pieces, I felt like white cardstock was my best option, because these are quite busy. The acetate paper, it's busy, and you know, it's transparent. So I tried to see how it looked over other pieces of pattern, like papers with pattern or cardstock, and it just doesn't look as good as it does on white. So yeah, what are you gonna do? And yeah, what can I talk to you about? I don't know. So the other video that I was recording, I was chatting about some differences in houses. Like, well, you should just wait for that video and then listen to it about the differences of things in your home that I've noticed between Austria, where I live now, and Israel, where I lived in the first 30 years of my life. And yeah, if you're interested in some more chatty videos or art journaling tutorials or real-time scrapbooking videos, then I suggest checking out my Patreon. And this month I recorded a couple of real-time scrapbooking process videos, and in the last one I actually talk a lot about going to medicine school and all the kind of the reasons that made me search for a different path in life, which is art. So if you're interested in that, you know, you're welcome to hop on over to Patreon and check that out. And besides that, what else can I tell you about? So let's talk about, let's go easy, because I feel like I'm not in the most creative, chatty mood. So let's talk about books. So currently I am reading Outlander, and I'll tell you, I think I mentioned it in a previous video. So the thing is, I bought Outlander because it was, you know, a huge success, and it got like so many great reviews I saw on Amazon, and it has a couple of like my favorite themes in books, which is time travel and like English and British history. So in this case it's mostly Scottish, but I am like kind of obsessed with, a little bit obsessed. I think I was British in a previous life, and I do love time travel. I really, really loved The Time Traveler's Wife. I loved that book. The movie is kind of cute. I really loved the book. A bit on the romantic side, but I really, really enjoyed the story. So anyway, I bought Outlander. I started to read it, and even though, you know, on paper it should have, or on Kindle, it should have had all the elements of a book that I would really enjoy, I don't know, it wasn't working for me, so I stopped reading it. And then a couple of years later, I was, you know, scrolling and touring Netflix, and I saw the Outlander show. I started watching it, and I mean, Jamie, I don't need to say anything more. If you have watched the series, you know what I'm talking about. So I kind of binge watched the first 2 seasons, and then in Netflix here in Austria, we only have the first 2 seasons, and there are 3 as far as I know. Maybe 4 even. I don't know. But anyway, I saw the 2 seasons, and then I couldn't get any more seasons for free. So I bought the book that starts from the point where the 2nd season ends. And I finished that. That's the 3rd book in the series. And now I'm reading the 4th book, and it's okay. I mean, I'm kind of enjoying it. It's easy to read. Is it my most favorite book in the history of the world? Definitely not, but it's okay. I do love kind of historical fiction, so I am enjoying it, but yeah, it's, you know, it's not magical. It is what it is. But it's very hard to critique books because I can only imagine how incredibly hard it is to write it. So I am saying, you know, I am enjoying it, but yeah, I don't know. I have a sort of a deal that I'm not sure will happen, that Ella, my daughter, and I will be reading Harry Potter. I read only the first book, which I know is kind of blasphemy. And I would really like to read all the books. My husband, of course, read it, and he's kind of shocked that I haven't. So I do want to read that. Maybe I'll go there next. And yeah, you know, I'm thinking I saw Jill Sprout. I hope I pronounced it right. I remember Shimel saying that you pronounce Jill's name like boat. So Sprout. I hope I got that right. But she's an amazing scrapbooker, and she's also on the Hip Kit design team, which I'm super excited about because I've been watching her since her, you know, 2 peas in a bucket days. And she made a layout about like these old books from her childhood that she found. And that reminded me of my favorite childhood books. Now, some of those are there are books that is original, you know, Israeli fiction, so I doubt anyone knows them, and I have to say those are probably not the most memorable ones that I read as a child for some reason. But for me, I think the 2 books that I really, really, really love, and kind of, I think they kind of opened my eyes to just the world of like fantasy fiction in one case, and in the other in kind of traveling to faraway lands and times, you know, just through a book and your imagination. And I think the Israeli books that I read before that were very interesting and very good. I think they were good books, but they were very realistic, and they were all like taking place in Israel, so there wasn't anything new there for me. But yeah, so which books am I talking about? So the first one is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I think it's called. I read these in Hebrew, so I'm not sure about the exact translation, but it's from the Narnia series. And I absolutely loved that book. I think it was really like the first fantasy book that I read. And I remember the description in the book of Turkish delight, or I'm not sure, like in Hebrew, or maybe it's Turkish, we say rachat lokum. So I know it's called Turkish delight, like this Turkish candy. The description of it in the book is so good that I felt like I could taste this thing. And it's just such a beautiful book. I absolutely loved it. I still have it. I kept it. I kept very little things from my childhood, and very little, I think even fewer things because I moved to a different country. So I think just a handful of books came along for the ride, and that's one of them. I took it with me I absolutely love it. And then the other book is actually a series, which I admit I haven't read the whole series. I read the first 3 books as a child, and I think in my early teens. And I'm talking about the Anne Shirley and from Avonlea, those books by Lucy Montgomery, I think the writer name is. And oh my gosh, that was just, Prince Edward's Island and Nova Scotia is on my bucket list. It's one of those places that I feel like I have to visit because I have these images in my mind of the landscape, and obviously things don't look now like they are described in the book because that book takes place in a different era, but that just the character of Anne and the whole way, like her imagination and how she describes everything around her, I just thought it was magical. And as soon as my niece was in the right age, I recommended those books to her, and I know she also loved them. It's just one of these, timeless books, and I think I read the 4th one and found it, I guess, quite forgettable because I remember the first 3 books so well, and then the 4th one I kind of remember what happened there. But yeah, I can't wait for Ella to be old enough to read them. Right now she reads, but I don't think she's as passionate about reading. Hopefully it will come with time because I just think it's the best thing you can do with your time. For me, traveling and reading and creating, that's like things I need, for my soul. So I'm thinking maybe I should do a layout about that. And yeah, I'm longing for another book that stays with me. So those are like my childhood books, and then I have a couple more that I think it's a combination of a good book and the time in your life when you read it. So for me, I have mentioned it before. The video is soon finished, so I don't have a lot of time to go into it. But it's The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera, and I don't know, I think that's the one that kind of made the most impact on me, but I read it so long ago, I should really read it again and see what I think of it now. Yeah. So back to the layout, we're soon done. That was a bit a scary part, adding those splatters, but I was brave. And here's my finished layout. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me your book recommendations or the books that made a difference in your lives. Thank you for watching. I wish you a wonderful day. Bye.